As Alaska is enormous, so too is its excellence. A tremendous, uninhabited wild overpowers the similarly little urban communities in the state, like business disapproved of Anchorage, with its numerous activities, and concealed Juneau, an inquisitive state capital with no street access. This normal excellence can be appreciated while climbing, rowing, and fishing in nature, particularly as the state and public stops here are probably the biggest in the United States. These wildlands of the last frontier are what pulls in nature darlings and sightseers from across the world. In spite of the fact that there are a few exhibition halls and other vacation destinations in the significant focuses, towns are maybe more precisely utilized as bouncing-off focuses for investigating the Alaskan wilds, like Denali and Kenai Fjords public parks. In any case, any place you're touring may take you. The size of Alaska makes certain to dazzle. Find the best places to visit in this roughly lovely state with our rundown of the top attractions in Alaska. 1. Denali National Park in the northern piece of the Alaska Range. Denali is the third biggest national park in the United States, enveloping North America's most noteworthy mountain. Denali is the 20,320-foot pinnacle's customary name, however present-day adventurers named it Mount McKinley. The name of the mountain stayed a discussion for more than 100 years, and in 2015, Denali turned into the authority name for North America's most elevated pinnacle. Names to the side, the 6 million sections of land of wide stream valleys, tundra, high snow-capped reaches, and glacial mass-hung mountains are simply dynamite. A solitary street leads into the recreation center, and just park-affirmed transports are allowed to go past Savage River. Perspectives on Denali can be delighted in from the recreation center street, assuming it doesn't rain. 2. Tracy Arm Fjord edged with ice sheets. Tracy Arm is found south of Juneau and is a mainstream objective for voyage ships and boat visits. Cascades tumble down the sharp stone dividers, and ice sheets calve, making little chunks of ice. The beautiful setting exists in the Tracy Arm Fjord's terror wilderness of the Tongass National Forest. At the top of the fjord sit the twin Sawyer glaciers. Natural life sightings are regular on visits, regardless of whether it's an earthy-colored bear or moose ashore, or the whales and seals that occupy these waters. 3. Kenai Fjords National Park securing a significant part of the fjord-baffled coastline of the Kenai Peninsula, south of Anchorage, this public park offers the absolute best touring in Alaska. All-encompassing pictures of the recreation center take in the numerous glacial masses of the 700-square-mile Harding icefield and an uninhabited coastline. Also, the public park is home to hugely huge earthy-colored bears that feed on the fat-rich salmon. Numerous vacationer choices combine in the encompassing territories, remembering the finish of Highway 1 for Homer. A mainstream implies for passage into the recreation center as the Alaska Railroad and the Seward Highway, both closure in Seward, close to the recreation center's northern limit. The lone region in the recreation center opened by vehicle is Exit Glacier, where a few paths offer nearer seas toward the finish of the icefield. 4. Alaska Highway, otherwise called the Alaska-Canada Highway, Alcan Highway. The Alaska Highway runs from Dawson Creek in British Columbia, Canada, through the Yukon Territory to Delta Junction close to Fairbanks. It was worked for military purposes in 1942, during World War II, in the record season of just 8 months. Since the finish of the conflict, the course has been the main methods for access via land to the Yukon Territory in southern Alaska. It's likewise a top pick with sporting vehicle voyagers. The parkway goes through Whitehorse, Canada prior to intersection the global boundary into Alaska and finishing off with Delta Junction. Inns, shops, and corner stores lie at timespans to 50 miles. 5. University of Alaska Museum of the North situated in Fairbanks. The University of Alaska Museum of the North offers more than 1 million recorded relics and normal history pieces. The perpetual assortment incorporates ethnological things made and utilized by native gatherings and an expressive arts assortment that centers chiefly around Alaskan workmanship. The assortment likewise includes archaeological finds from ancient societies, a collection of birds, and a few fossil science examples. The structure that houses the historical center is likewise critical. Planned by Joan Sorano, the white construction highlights fascinating lines and bends proposed to look like the Alaskan scene. 6. Inside Passage. The most well-known approach to visit the Inside Passage is to voyage through the fjords on enormous boats, sanctioned boats, and personal ships. Another alternative is to visit the Parkway at Haines, Skagway, or Hyder. This segment of southeast Alaska offers unimaginable landscape of ice sheets, mountains, and sea, and is home to a wealth of natural life. The territory is likewise occupied by the Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian people groups. Along the waterfront section, the Tongass National Forest covers 17 million sections of land and incorporates islands, mountains, glacial masses, ice fields, fjords, and cascades. Remembered for the backwoods as Prince of Wales Island, perhaps the biggest island in the U.S. 7. Dalton Highway open from Fairbanks and Anchorage. The Dalton Highway extends more than 400 miles into Alaska's far north district, ultimately arriving at the station of Prudhoe Bay. Fabricated adjoining and related to the Trans-Alaska Pipeline, the street is incredibly far off, tough, and not very much when outside of oil field laborers. Decidedly ready tourists have a motivator to explore the Forlorn Expressway, however, with the two gates of the Arctic National Park and Preserve and the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge covering the side of the road. 8. Alaska Native Heritage Center offering something other than an investigate the lives and estimations of Alaska's 11 significant social gatherings. The Alaska Native Heritage Center furnishes involved communication with music, individuals, and craftsmanship. Close by interpretive data, the Heritage Center is a spot to interface with the local area and partake in projects and occasions. Found right external Anchorage, the Heritage Center incorporates the gathering place for Alaska Native moving and narrating and the Hall of Cultures, loaded up with shows and nearby merchants showing carefully assembled specialties and masterpieces. 9. Wrangle Street. Elias National Park and Preserve. Wrangle Street. Elias National Park and Preserve is the biggest and generally superb of Alaska's rambling public parks. It contains 9 of the 16 most noteworthy tops in the United States. This pretentious mountain locale on the wilderness with Canada contains various glacial masses, lakes, and mountain streams and is home to a rich assortment of untamed life. Wrangle Street. Elias is a wonderful country for climbers, walkers, and water sports lovers. Furthermore, the Recreation Center's Kennecott Mines National Historic Landmark gives knowledge into the one-time plant town with scarcely protected legacy structures and deserted mines. 10. Iditarod National Historic Trail. Gold Country's just National Scenic Trail. The Iditarod National Historic Trail comprises of an organization of trails adding up to in excess of 2,300 miles between Nome, on the Bering Strait, and Seward, close to Anchorage. Initially utilized by antiquated trackers and later by gold miners, the path is presently utilized, and most popular, for the Iditarod Trail sled dog race. Broad scenes encompass the whole course, offering excellent perspectives on mountains, icy masses, and natural life. In spite of the fact that it is basically a colder time of year trail, explorers do utilize areas throughout the late spring months including the famous Crow Pass Trail inside Chugach State Park.